Hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Bahadur Mori and I am an English and SS teacher in Sahajanan English Medium School at Nathajmuna. And today I am taking English. This is the poem section. We have already taught chapter 2 in this poem of chapter 2. Geography lesson. This is poem title is Geography lesson. I think you aware about this word geographically lesson, right? This is story about geographically. It's very interesting and very short story and very easy to memorize. Without further ado, I want to start the story and reading. So please use your hands free, the much better sound quality, so you can better to understand our language. Can you imagine what your city would look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? So here the poet want to say that have you imagined that you seen your city from the 10,000 feet above from the ground, 10,000 feet above from the ground, and if you see your city, so how it's look like? Do you have any idea? Neatly planned and perfect in proportion like a geometric design. It's like a perfectly geographically designs that we can see from the above. It would strike you as something very different from what it actually is while you are in the think of it. When you go into upside, and then for example if you travel on the plane, right, and you see your city from the plane, so you can imagine how what exactly they look like, right? So this is very imaginary and very geographically story, this one very interesting. Here is a poet to describe description of just such a view of city. So here the poet want to describe the what exactly our city looks like from the above, from the sky, like this way from the plane. And some question that come to his mind, and this is story about when the our poet description about his city. And at that time he just he right now he just above the in the 10,000 feet right now, for examples. And he just see his city, and at that time some question arise in his mind, and what exactly they are here is about it. So very lovely and very interesting poem, this one. Now I going to read every line. Please listen. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had, and seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile. See, when the jet sprang, that means plane. When the jet sprang into the sky, when the jet sprang into the sky, flow into the sky, fly into the sky, right, enter into the sky. For example, it was clearly why the city had developed the way it had. So we can clearly see that how the city was developed, and how the city was developed, how the city was constructed, waited, seeing it is scaled 6 inches to 6 inch to the mile. So we can scale the city into the 6 inch to the mile. So we can scale it, we can measure it, and we can measure it in the 6 inches to the mile. So it's a measure it into the 6 inches to the mile. So in the first line, the narrator explained that when the jet sprang into the sky, so it was clearly we can feel that how the city developed, and city is a scale. Every part of the city is a scale. They measure in the 6 inches to the mile. There seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard and unplanned and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. When the jet sprang into the sky, the poet want to say that there was a seemed an inavailability. That means there is no planning and there is no order form of the cities. That as obviously look like the haphazard, that means disorder. There is unplanned without any style. Their city looks like there is no plan, there is no settlement, there is no anything rules and flow of the constructions. So that means there is unplanned. When the jet sprang into the sky, the city explained poet described like this way. Second paragraph, when the jet reached 10,000 feet, then jet reached the 10,000 feet, right? See, when the jet just sprang into the sky, that time we can see the develop of the city. we can measure it in the 6 inch to the mile. We can measure in the 6 mile, and there seemed an inevitability about what the ground has look haphazard. That means it looks like the haphazardly, right? So that we can measure it, and then there is unplanned and without any style. But when the jet reached 10,000 feet, second paragraph, when the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clearly why the country had cities where the river ran and why the valley were populated. So when the jet reached the 10,000 feet, we can understand that we have clear vision that why the country had cities, and where the river ran, where exactly rivers are ran, right, and why the valleys are were populated. So we can feel that why the valley are populated and where is the river are runs, right. The logic of geographically that land and water attract the man easily. So we can feel poet want to say that in the valley area, the near river area, population are more and more, because people attract to the water, right. Water attract the man, and was clearly delineated, right. Was the jet reached 10,000 feet. So in the when the jet reached 10,000 feet, the clear that logically, geographically, the land and the water attract the man. Land and the water attract the man, and the valley area and the river area which very populated, right. And the head the city where the most of the city are situated at the river, and more population are in the valley areas, right. So we can clearly feel that the country how the clear that why the country had cities, because country had cities, and cities all are the near the rivers, and most of the population are the valley areas, and geographically we can say that men attract the land and water. While the jet rose 6 mile high, when the after 10,000 feet more 6 mile high, it was clear the earth was round. So then, after the 10,000 feet more 6 mile high, it was clear that earth was round. So we can see that earth is a round, and that it had more sea than land. So we can see that there is a more sea than land. So more than sea than land. So that it had more sea than land, and but it was difficult to understand that the man on the earth found cause to hate each other. So very difficult to found poet want to say that it is very difficult to find why the man on the earth is a cause to hate and hate and discrimination and all that, to build a walls across the city, and to kill. That means they built a city, right. They built walls across the city. All the peoples from all the countries, they built a wall across the cities, and to kill to each other from that height. It was not clear why. So only one thing that cannot clear from the height above the 10,000, that one thing why the people of earth, they goes to head to each other, and they built the walls across the cities, and they kill to the each other, kill to the people. These things poet cannot clear this one. This not understand. Everything understood, but these things, hate, discriminations, built walls, right. These all things they not understand, right. These things is not clear. So it's a poet of Zulfikar Ghosh. This is the poet of this poem. So very lovely poem this one. Inevitable, that means that cannot be avoidable, and happens that without plan or order, and a delineate, that means short. This is the three glossary word that you can know. See, a very short and very sweet poem this one. I hope you got the whole point. In the first paragraph, you can see that poet want to explain that when we jet sprang into the sky, that meant clear that city had developed, and it the way it had, and it can measure in the 6 scale every part of the 6 inches to the miles. There seems like inevitability. That means they cannot be stopped it about what ground and look haphazard. That means the ground and the when the jet sprang into the sky, that time very unplanned in all the cities, right. But after the jet reached the 10,000 feet, the clear that why was the country had cities, and the cities are had near those rivers, and really have a population that logically, geographically, logically, people attract land and water, right. So this in short, they most of the population area near the river and valley areas. But after the jet across the more above the 6 mile above the 10,000 feet, they clear that earth is a round, and the more had a more sea than land, But one thing not clear by the poet is that very difficult to understand for the poem, that a man on the earth found cause to hate. The man on the earth, that we are found cause to the hate, we hate to each other with discrimination in caste and creed and all that. That things cannot be understood by the poem, right? And why the city built walls across the cities, built a wall across the cities and killed to the people, these things not understand from that height. It was not clear why. This is Zulfikar Ghosh want to say that very very inspiration, very poet is very interesting. This is about we have to we all are on the earth, right? And we are in the globalization. If we think now, so we are one part, right now we are in the country, different country, different religion, different state, different districts. We think about that, but we are not think about that ultimately we are all earth, we are a human, right? So very interesting and very inspiration poet. I hope you got the all the points right from this poem. Here the working of the text, right? So you will do yourself. Here the some are questions, right? So do yourself. So it's clearly much better for your exercise. Find the 3 or 4 phrases and sentence 1 to which are likely to occur in the geography lesson, right? So these 3 questions, this very easy to find out. This is your homework for you. Write in your fair book and find out all the these questions, right? I hope you got the all point and you understood the every paragraph of this poem. So next part will be soon according to our timetable, right? Please stay home, stay safe at your home, and do revision, study hard, take care of yourself. Have a nice day.